Hey guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel today. And we are going to be talking today, guys, about the fall rate of a lure as far as its ability to generate strikes or not. Because this is one part of bass fishing a lot of people don't understand how important it is, because the rate of fall, the rate of descent of the lure has a lot to do with triggering a strike based upon the bass's mood and personality. So we're going to identify what that is in today's video, and it's going to give you a good indication of how heavy a weight or how light of a weight to use in your fishing here. Also, guys, a couple quick things to get started. Just a reminder, guys, if you haven't tried this, guys, and you want to look for some really good fluorocarbon line, guys, give this Seaguar Carbon Ultra a try. This thing goes on your reel super smooth, super supple, super abrasion resistant, super sensitive. I'll have the Carbon Ultra link and my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to order this tool. And also, guys, quick reminder, we've been talking about this all month long. Cast King is offering this Patriot Special rod and reel. It's got a Royal Legend bait cast reel on it, 7'3" medium heavy action bait cast rod, 7'3" long. Super cool, red, white, and blue in a celebration for our country's 250th anniversary. And they also got a spinning rod in the same color pattern here, guys, too, if you'd like to order one. I'll have my Cast King link in the description of this video if you guys would like to use that link. And if you use the promo code Randy10, you get free shipping and handling, so appreciate all that. Okay, guys, the fall rate of a bait is critical as far as to getting bites. Now, when we're talking about a fall rate, we're talking about basically your bottom bouncing lures, things like jigs, Texas rig worms, shaky heads, Ned rigs, drop shots, football head jigs, anything that basically falls to the bottom. We're not talking about your top waters, your crankbaits, or any type of lip lures. We're talking about, the baits that go straight down to the bottom. Now, the rate of descent has a lot to do with its ability to generate strikes or not. Not all the time, but a lot of times. And let me give you guys a prime example. What I'm talking about here, and then I'll identify some different situations when it works. You guys may have heard me talking about this. If I seem sleepy, guys, I got like an hour and a half of sleep last night. I'm dragging. It's like 8 o'clock tonight, and I need to go to bed. But anyway, guys, what I was saying, that tournament that I finished 5th in last weekend, the BFL at Truman Lake, I practiced up there flipping and pitching, creature baits and worms with a 3/16 and a 1/4 ounce slip sinker, which is 2 of my favorite sizes to flip, cover that's in less than 3 or 4 foot of water. I couldn't get bit doing it. And I didn't know if the fact there just wasn't any fish there, or, if I had the wrong bait on. I didn't really think it was the sinker size that I was using because I'd had so much success with that. So I got thinking about it the night before the tournament, and it's like, I know these fish are in the bushes. It's like it's perfect water clarity. It's perfect water depth. I know they're in the bushes. They gotta be. So, and I got thinking about the bait selection, and I mixed it up and I tried a bunch of different baits, and I couldn't get them to hit anything. So the only thing, and I tried different colors as well. So the only other option for me to try was my sinker size. So I upgraded my sinker size to a 3/4 ounce, which is a significantly faster fall. That 1/4 ounce was falling about like this through the water, through those bushes, and that 3/4 ounce was like, boop, it dropped just like a rock in the water. And it started, when I changed it the first morning of the tournament. I hadn't, I went cold into the tournament trying it, and it worked right off the bat. And I wound up catching 16 pounds, and I finished 5th in the tournament based upon nothing but fall rate. That was the rate of descent the fish wanted. Now, when do you want to consider fall rate? When is fall rate a factor? 2 different schools of thought on this, and there's 2 different scenarios that are sort of like contradictory to each other. First of all, I'm going to tell you, sometimes, and I'm going to say this is probably 25% of the time, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever that they're biting a certain rate at a certain fall. I don't understand why they are. It's like the conditions are conducive to a certain thing, but for whatever it is, just the mood and the personality of the bass, they want a certain fall rate. So a lot of times it's just by experimentation, and you don't know why they're doing that, but that's what just happened to me in that tournament. I just experimented with a heavier weight, and it happened to work, and I still don't really understand why. But given that, the other 75% is more predictable. Now, here is a general rule of thumb how you need to consider fall rate. In general, let's talk about 2 scenarios. Let's talk about like off-colored, colder water. So say you got water visibility of about 1.5 feet, and say the water temperature is 50 degrees. Stained water, pretty cool water, 50 degrees. In a situation like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want a slow fall. That stained water and the cold water together is really indicative of the bass wanting a slow fall. But on the other end of the spectrum, let's say that you've got clear water, like water visibility of over 5 or 6 foot clarity, and it's really warm. In a situation like that, they usually always want a fast fall, a heavy sinker, because you're wanting to get that bait down to the bottom. There's no reaction time for them to bite it on the way down. They want it on the bottom fast. And then everything else is sort of in between. So let's say, for example, if I use a 1/4 ounce or say I use a 3/16 ounce slip sinker, or even an 1/8 ounce slip sinker in colder, dirty water. In clear, warm water, I may use a 3/4 ounce or even a 1 ounce sinker to get it down there fast, and everything else is in between. Let's say, for example, I'm right in the middle, and say I've got 3 foot of water visibility, and I've got water temperatures in the low 70s. Then I'll go midway. I might go to a 1/4 ounce or a 3/8 or something like that. So that combination of the water temperature and the water clarity is really critical. Now, another thing as far as the fall rate to consider is the type of cover that you're fishing. If you're fishing a situation where your bait is over a limb, like flipping into a lay down tree or some type of flooded cover like that, you're naturally going to have a bait that falls a little bit slower because you've got impediments in the way to get it down there. Or if you have high winds. If you have high wind or current, that's also going to affect your fall rate, and you have to keep that in consideration with it. But the main thing is what you want to do is you want to fish a heavy enough sinker to efficiently fish that cover without having to fight it down through that cover, or wait forever for it to get to the bottom. You sort of want to fish the heaviest sinker that you can get away with that allows you to be efficient and get the bites, because the heavier the sinker that you fish, the more casts that you can make and the more water that you can cover. And that sometimes that's important, and other times it's not. Sometimes they want a very slow presentation. It's like sometimes the mood and the personality of the bass is where they don't want any weight. They want like a weightless plastic worm or a weightless Senko or a wacky rig that falls just like that, super, super slow. But you've got to start somewhere. And the way to start it is with your combination of your water temperature and your water clarity. That's going to give you a starting point. And then once you have that starting point, then you can tweak your weight size. It's like if you've tried different colors and different bait selections and different profiles and that's not working, as a last resort, always change up your size of your sinker or the weight of the head that you're using. That usually always makes a difference. And on another end of the spectrum, I just said that you need to use the heavier weight if possible to be more efficient. But on the other side of the coin, the lighter sinker or the lighter head you use will allow you to land more bass because the fish do not have the leverage to throw it. So if I'm fishing a shaky head on a 1/16 of an ounce head, I'm going to land more fish than if I'm fishing that shaky head on a 1/4 ounce head, because the fish just don't have that leverage on the hook to throw it. So if it sounds confusing and it sounds like there's a lot of contradictory information, you're right, there is, because ultimately you just have to experiment. You have to listen to what the fish are telling you. So anyway, guys, that's a few thoughts on that. Hope it helps you guys out. We'll talk later.